Welcome back to the show, everybody. Check out these headlines. The SEC folds like a cheap suit on secondary market sales. We'll tell you in what. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow us on Twitter and YouTube for exclusive content. Right now, $1.18 trillion market cap for crypto. The market is off by 2.4%. Good morning, everybody. 27,000 slightly over for Bitcoin, 1867 and change for Ethereum. Tether market cap, 83.2 billion plus, 50 cents in holding right now for XRP. It's up 11.8 on the 7-day. How about that? Nobody's upset about that. I know I'm not. And here we see, and if I could just jot that down, because I am absolutely loving that strength that we're seeing out of XRP at the moment. So, okay. Now, with that being said, let's take a look at this, because we know that the talk of the town is that this case does appear to be over. It's not official. They haven't said it. But by the actions we've seen in many different areas, it would be, I think, very likely to suggest that the case is coming to an end and certainly over. At least that's what it looks like Ripple believes, you know, and we're going to take a look at some more evidence of that as we get through this. But remember, that means that at some point, if the case is over and we're waiting for that official statement and ruling and decision from the judge, then that means there's only going to be so much time between that than when Ripple intends to IPO. You can get that IPO or get the pre-IPO private equity on Link 2 and so many other incredible products. But that window is closing. No question about it. And I tell you, it's going to get harder to get, and it's probably going to get more expensive to get as that window closes and we find out exactly how long it will be till the IPO. Click the link to my sponsor and get yourself some of that private equity. Right here, Hong Kong and UAE are working together on crypto frameworks. And this is amazing because we know Hong Kong and UAE are crypto friendly, and they are using that as an advertisement to bring crypto firms into their districts and respective areas. But here's the deal. It is really big on the front that look at the size of these financial entities that are working together. These two financial centers of Hong Kong and UAE are bringing together like Abu Dhabi Bank, Abu Dhabi Islamic Bank, Emirates NBD, UAE, meanwhile, Bank of China, Citi, HSBC, Standard Chartered showed up for Hong Kong. And let us not forget that Ripple has won the pilot for the EHKD, the Hong Kong CBDC, for real estate tokenization and DeFi, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my, oh my. And Bali Texture here. This is from Bali now. Bali Texture announces acceptance of XRP for crypto payments on real estate purchases in Bali. Come on in. Again, this is speaking to me because we know that the EHKD pilot is about real estate tokenization and DeFi. I tell you, things are moving around the world. The world is a big place. And speaking of the world being a big place, look at this. I tell you what, I'm holding XDC, and you guys know I'm holding XDC, but I had the FOMO after seeing this news this morning and went and got some more, not financial advice, but I love it, always have. And this right here is getting backed by the banking powerhouse SBI. Oh, that's right, Yoshitaka Katao's SBI, to empowering XDC, expanding XDC's network footprint in Japan. And here you can see the actual tweet that was shared by Yoshitaka Katao here. And then this right here is the announcement from the legend Yoshitaka Katao, CEO of SoftBank SBI. It says, announcement of the start of XDC handling, concluded a partnership agreement with XDC Network and held a campaign to commemorate the start of handling. How about that? And it is really massive news. I'm very excited for them. Again, I've said it. I know I primarily cover Ripple and XRP on the channel, but the truth is I'm not an XRP maxi. I'm a utility maxi. And if your project has utility, then I'm going to be involved and want to be involved in a big way. That is for sure. And that's what I see here, and I'm very excited about it. Again, not financial advice, but I love what I'm seeing. Now, I love what I'm seeing in this too. Let's read this and understand that there are huge implications that suggest that the SEC versus Ripple case could be known, at least, that it's over. At least to the parties involved. That is speculative, obviously. But we're going to look at some evidence in just a second here that suggests that there's no way that you could presume otherwise. It'd certainly be very hard to presume otherwise. But here we see from Rodrigo here, and shout out to him, that the SEC just entered a proposed settlement in their case against Ishan Wahi, the former Coinbase employee, which is a complete surrender and shows the weakness in the SEC's theories about secondary market trading of crypto. This is a meaningful development for the industry, and it certainly is. Stay with this thread here. As a reminder, Wahi, his brother, and a friend were charged by both the SEC and the Department of Justice for insider trading tokens based on confidential information about future listings that Wahi got from Coinbase. Wahi pled guilty to the Department of Justice charges and settled, but strongly contested SEC charges. Paradigm filed a brief supporting Wahi's defense against the SEC, arguing the tokens could not be deemed securities even if they were initially sold in securities transactions. Today, SEC settlement does not admit any legal conclusions about the security status of tokens, doesn't require Wahi to pay any additional penalties, in addition to those due for separate criminal case, and include immaterial injunction not to violate Section 10B. In other words, the SEC completely folded when faced with a spirited defense pushing back on their claims that the tokens trading in secondary markets were securities. This is a big deal to me, and this, I believe, is starting to point to maybe a larger undertow or narrative that's really coming to light here, that secondary market sales are not securities. Maybe this is the SEC's admission to stop pushing for that. And if that's the case, could it be another case and a decision in another case that may be informing them not to push further in this case? I don't know the answer, but it does feel like it, doesn't it? And here we see that Google searches for Ripple are up 89% in the past week alone. Yeah, I bet they are. That's why I tell you, you want private equity from Link2, you better go ahead and get it. This is more confirmation that we covered over the weekend when Medico announced, showing the advertisement. A lot of people were saying, that's fake, that's fake. It's not fake. NASDAQ congratulated Ripple on their acquisition of Medico on the NASDAQ board. And we could see here further confirmation. Ripple liked the news on LinkedIn. I'd say this is legit and the lawsuit is done as dinner. And I think that is a very good confirmation right there in our speculative outlook, right? Shout out to Zach Rector for that one. Give him a follow. Michael Branch, Medico digital asset custody and tokenization firm recently acquired by Ripple, bags a new honor as the Custody Asia Award. We covered this as well, but I'm showing you all of this because remember what we covered yesterday. It was a great tweet by Digital Asset Investor that said, you know, would Ripple spend $250 million on an acquisition out of their billion cash flow if they weren't aware of what the outcome of the case was going to be, knowing that the SEC is suing them for $1.38 billion in sales of XRP, claiming they were securities, unregistered. Here we remember, too, as a highlight reminder here, XRP gets recognized by the Atlanta Federal Reserve Bank as a global payment solution. That was an enormous moment, too. Then take all of this and put it together here with Ashley Prosper's tweet. So Brad Garlinghouse says case ending in weeks, not months. Hinman docs come out on June 13th. Brad Garlinghouse likes digital asset investors' tweet about case being over. Disney Elemental movie comes out June 16th featuring fire and water characters named Ember Lumen and Brooke Ripple. David Schwartz says Ripple has water and Amazon has fire. Videos surface of Google Assistant saying XRP price unavailable until after June 13th. Ripple acquires Medicom. NASDAQ congratulates Ripple on XRP price climbs. Ripple's on-demand liquidity partner, Tranglo Partners with Al Ansari Exchange, the UAE's largest outward personal remittance. And Ripple launches CBDC platform. Doesn't sound like a company that's about to lose a lawsuit and disappear anytime soon. All we need now is for Jim Cramer to come out and say the Ripple case will never end in June. Oh, for those of you who don't know, whatever Jim Cramer says, just take the opposite, and that's usually what's going to happen. And then we got to wrap it with this. You know, John Deaton has said that there's no group of people in the crypto space that deserve to be more celebrated than the XRP community. Well, I believe that is true. But if that is true, and it is, then there's no greater person to be celebrated than John Deaton for representing all of us in the class action and all the work that he's done outside of us for the crypto space broadly. I don't know how this guy does it, but you know what? He does. And I'm grateful. He shares here a letter, and it says, Dear SEC commissioners who voted yes for the bogus lawsuit on Ripple and XRP, it says here below is one of the amazing people you turned your back on and harmed, and why it's easy for me to get emotional. Dear Mr. Deaton and team, I recently had the honor of shaking your hand in Las Vegas at the XRP conference. I am one of many XRP holders who are greatly appreciative of your effort, of the efforts you have expanded on our behalf. Or expended on our behalf, excuse me. Without your work on this case, I would truly feel alone and helpless in this fight against a bully that I would have no chance to defeat if it weren't for the initiative that you took when you saw such an overreach by the SEC. No matter how this case ends, I will be forever grateful for your leadership in this fight. And I couldn't agree more. And I take you to this moment to show you just how real it is to John, and just how real it is when you come to something like XRP Las Vegas and you meet real people. Solidify those relationships. Take a listen.
There is a difference when, you know, decentralized justice is great. And you all in the XRP community have been great. And when you have tens of thousands of people and you get emails, it's one thing. But Brad, at that conference, and I could get a bit emotional about this because it's sincere to me. When you have a 75-year-old woman, grandmother, come up to you and say, "Can I shake your hand?" Because I just thank you for fighting for us, for trying to give us a voice. And when you meet people like that over and over again, ranging from 18 years old to one lady in a wheelchair at 82, who came up to me to extend some level of gratitude, man, it's a different level. And it inspired me tremendously, because these people these are hardworking people. Most of them are non-accredited investors. Some of them are developers who are just trying to advance their life and take advantage of this and change the world. And we have a government who's stepping on their neck, you know what I mean? And who's trying to prevent that and is not doing the right thing. And so I just want to say thank you to you. I want to say thank you to everyone out there that came up to me. Like, you touched me. It was the most humbling event that I've ever experienced, because deep down, you know, you're not as good as everybody's claiming you are, or that you know how flawed you are as a human being. and to experience that. So it overwhelmed me. And so,
and I couldn't agree more with John. You know, being touched by the people that were there at that conference, I'm telling you, this is not a sell. This is the truth. I'll never forget it. And the people that I met and the relationships and the way you bond with people over everything that we've been through. And I can only imagine exactly how it feels to John and the way it did to me. You know, John's fight is about to get turned on 10, and he's already been working at 11. But it's really getting ready to turn up, because after this decision, I imagine that there's quite a bit that he's going to be moving to do to really make sure that this class action doesn't fall to the floor and it gets the attention that it deserves, because there's been so much, not just about XRP holders that have been harmed, but about how this entire crypto space and retail investors have been harmed. And John Deaton is the guy to do it. I want to say thank you to him and all of you. I tell you, I do not take what I get to do every day for granted. I am really grateful for each and every one of you, and certainly John Deaton. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe. Leave a comment below. This is not financial advice. This is just my digital perspectives. I'll catch all of you on the next one.